goodness.
Ta-da!
Oh, she's beautiful though. She's so beautiful.
Check with a cutthroat razor, and I would listen to Erasure. Yeah, I think I'll sail the 7 seas, because the sea is the place for me. I would shout land ahoy, 'cause I'm the sailor boy. I drink rum all night, 'cause I'm living the pirate life.
So, we are about to leave Guadeloupe, kind of. What island are we heading to again?
Les Saintes. Les Saintes.
So we're going through our routine of what it is we do before we leave somewhere. So we always have a logbook and we write down what the weather is, time, location, our compass, speed, forecast, and any observations that we have. We usually use this to plot our course with our charts. We also have our GPS, and we also have a book to check out the areas where we're going, and we also have our app Navionics to make sure where we're going is the correct place.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't need Navionics this year. Non mais n'importe quoi.
Well, after Montserrat, I like to check now. So what we do when we go, we make sure Lila has her harness on and she is secured to the boat. We also make sure the tap to the toilet is shut so the water doesn't come out. We make sure that we fill up our tank of water, which holds about 400 litres. We buy some emergency water just in case. We have our life jackets here in easy reach. We've got our lines out ready to catch some fish for lunch. Gas is filled. We've got extra gasoline for the dinghy. The dinghy is secured and the engine is tied to the back. We have our emergency life thingamajiggy here, and emergency life raft is at the front with the dinghy. I know usually I have them on the back, but we've got no room and our journey is just going to be 4 hours. So, let's get this show on the road. Okay, we're halfway through our journey and that very loud noise, the sound of the engine. So what we usually do around about this time is cook some lunch. Laura, what's it like cooking on Papageno when we're mid-sea?
We're going to try and make pasta today, so boiling hot water isn't always the best thing to do.
It's a bit scary.
I prefer to be preparing a salad, let's put it that way. But we'll see how it turns out.
Alright! And then up here, as you see, we've been taking notes. Up here we have Edouard steering the boat.
Bonjour.
We have Lila, who makes sure she gets lots of cuddles as we go.
She stays with me.
She stays with one of us at all times. At the moment we're going 210 degrees.
Direct on the sun.
And each person has a role on Papageno, so at the moment we have 2 lines out and we're trying to catch some fish for dinner tonight. We have 1 line here and 1 line here. The only problem is that we're catching so much seaweed, but we figured, you know, 1 time out of 20 of constantly clearing it, we might actually catch a fish at some point. So, that's what's going on at the moment. It's been a really pleasant journey so far. And, yeah, let's carry on, shall we?
devotion that brings me down. That without my love for the old.
Just as things were going perfectly, 20 minutes away from L'Ascenz, Papageno stopped going into gear. Putting her manually into forward via the engine room, we managed to get into the bay safely and hook up to a buoy. Hearing of our troubles, Captain Holly from another adventure came to our rescue. We'd met in Guadeloupe this adventure-loving mechanic who sailed solo across the oceans. Not only was she a big inspiration for us, but she was an expert with restoring boats like Papageno after raising her own from beneath the ocean.
Because on the ropes, they have sometimes in the middle, they are.
Okay. What's the plan? What are we doing? We are lifting the back of the engine because we're taking out a transmission. And the transmission has no room to move backwards so that the splines can come out of the back of the engine. So we're lifting the back of the engine so then we'll have more real estate once we clear the shaft with the coupler, and we can move the transmission back and lift it up and out and take it apart.
Bloody hell.
It's another adventure. It's always another. I'm gonna go down there and undo the rest of those bolts because right now I just have them loosened, so it can't come up yet until I take them all the way out.
I don't know whether that's the sweetest sandwich.
Can you when I pull up?
I'm gonna try to pull back. Yeah, let it loose a little bit. You might have to get here. Let it hang down more.
I lift more?
No,
Let
let
it
go.
hang.
It's
Nobody's, nothing is connected.
Hello! Forward, reverse?
So that was what our gears are connected to and it wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, there is no click.
I had a smaller one.
Yeah, Liz. In the toolbox and it will be okay in the bottle.
Want to do any more?
Sure can.
It's everything I would imagine it would be.
Wow, she's shiny.
They usually are very nice on the inside. Taking notes. Point up like this way.
Like this?
Oh, loose.
Yep. Can't lose any of these though.
Does anything look obviously wrong with it?
No, it's well, this is actually okay. No, it's fixed here. Right? Yes, it's got to be.
Everything looks okay.
Yeah. That way and that. Did mechanic take this off yesterday at all?
I think so, yeah.
What did he do?
Did he just not put it back properly?
It was
It was not put back properly.
It was a 10-minute job.
Yeah.
I want my money
To do
back.
that.
Yeah.
Oh fucking hell.
Are you serious?
No, that's what I'm thinking of just
You need
now.
to. We need to call him.
Can I get some really clean
He didn't
cloth?
put it back.
Yeah, of course. Holly's just figured out the problem and given us a full-blown transmission inspection, and it's good to know that we actually have a fabulous transmission.
The transmission
This is
looks
where my
great.
career's
I would like to add that we just pulled an
You like
entire
it?
transmission and disassembled it because the mechanic yesterday put the shift linkage back together wrong.
Prefer that to be inside.
Which is...
I've never tried this.
What
I've tried this and I
happened
like it.
after we get into everything and
Tried
I
what?
checked all the clutch packs, I
Organizing
checked all the
rentals.
bearings, I checked all the spacing and gapping and made sure everything moved correctly, and it did. No real major components found floating, a
this
few
is
small
not,
pieces of
the
metal
same,
in the
activity?
catch pan.
And it
But
was-
this
It's a vital component.
had a gap, and it was a mystery gap, and we were playing with it.
I like teaching.
And once I got closer, there is a half-moon shaped spline that comes out of here. And the way that the mechanic had it put back together, there was one flat spot, and then it's supposed to have the shifter arm put on to where the flat spot lines with the flat spot. It was put on like this, so it sat, and the only reason it was actually holding is because the nut was tight enough to pressurize it and bind it, but it wasn't perfectly aligned. So when we put the transmission into forward, it would divert fluid inside incorrectly into what I'm assuming 2 different directions, and started to initiate forward clutch pack, but then would also initiate the reverse clutch pack, locking everything together and stalling the engine over, I don't know, 45 degrees angle on the shift linkage. Makes a big difference. But the good news is everything else in here looks really great. The bad news is now we have to assemble some gaskets to put it back together and put it back in. Oh, did you just turn it on? Still at it.
Still at it.
I think the sun went down.
What time is it, Laura?
20 past 7.
20 past 7.
We had quite a struggle getting the transmission back together. It took 2 goes, just because things wouldn't line up.
Oh god.
18 gears later, and then on round 2, whenever we didn't have any silicone in place to seal it, it went together perfectly.
Oh.
So then we had to take it back apart a little bit, put the silicone in there to seal it.
What's the status of it now?
Everything's really good. We've got fluid in. Transmission is mounted back to the engine. All shift linkage is in place. The coupler is put back together. It is full of fluid, or at least close to. We're probably going to have to top it off again once we run it and get the front pump full of fluid. And we got the transmission cooler going back together right now, and then we're going to put together the exhaust system for the engine that was on top of the transmission, and 1 battery cable we had to undo to get it out of our way, and then we're ready to fire in the hole.
Oh my goodness.
Exhausting pipe. What about that?
Laura's busy feeding the troops. What are you making for us?
Just going to whip up some rice with butternut squash, onions, garlic, all the leftovers from the cupboards.
This is
You can call me Nigella.
a cupboard at the moment. Then we've got some lentils in there, some mixed vegetables. It's been a interesting day. I feel knackered.
I know, I do as well. God knows how those
I know, Jesus. So during all this, Laura's been the muscle as well, assisting and passing over tools and stuff, because it's a very small cockpit and we're all pretty much in the way. I've been trying to deal with all of our internet stuff, like trying to upload a next episode, and it's quite hard when you've got the weakest Wi-Fi link, and now we've got the laptop back. We're able to make proper episodes again, so we had a bit of a crappy couple of weeks just not being able to share the story properly with you two guys, but now we're all just going to be working hard together, make a delicious meal, and I've got some beers in the cupboard especially for these two, so they deserve it. Thank you, Holly, from Another Adventure.
What a legend.
Alright.
I think there's a ghoul in the... There's something spooky going on.
Oh dear. That's terrifying.
I'm a part-time ghost.
It's your best Nigella impression.
Oh, watch me as I seductively chop the butternut squash.
I'm so glad I got a zoom in of your face when you did that.
My lovely face of...
Faceness.
Do a cannonball. One, two.
Finally, everything was put back in place on Papageno and she was ready to motor sail another day. Thanks to Holly, we discovered that the engine and transmission of Papageno was in fact very good. It was a great comfort to hear after constantly updating and repairing small parts and losing faith sometimes. Encouraged by our progress in repairs, we are now finally on our way towards Martinique, Holly on another adventure close by our side.
Our homes into ashes.